I want to ask you a strange question today. How often do you mop your kitchen floor? How often do you mop your kitchen floor? A few weeks back, I realized that I hadn't mopped our kitchen floor in several weeks. And so I went to the closet, pulled out the mop, got the bucket out, filled it up with some hot water and soap, and I began to mop our kitchen floor. But just a couple of minutes into this chore, our mop broke. Several attempts to repair the mop proved unsuccessful, and so in frustration I opened the back door, threw the mop into the garbage can, and proceeded to the rag box, where I pulled out an old washcloth and began to mop the kitchen floor on my hands and knees, really getting into it, and as they say, putting a little elbow grease into it. And I realized not only was I able to get more of the dirt off of the floor, I found myself washing the baseboards and getting into the cracks and the crevices and pulling out dirt that hadn't been touched in months. But not only was I able to get the floor cleaner, I realized that I was seeing things about the kitchen floor that I had never seen before. The colors and the textures were new. After finishing, I took a step back to admire my work, this nice, clean kitchen floor, and the thought struck me of how this relates to the church. You see, I believe that a lot of folks who are very committed to Jesus Christ and committed to the church don't find themselves even going to the closet to pull out the mop or the bucket, taking the time to fill it up with hot water and soap, taking the time to even mop the floor, taking the time to really pour into the church and do something to help the church get the grit and the grime up. But even if and even when we take that time to mop with a mop, do we take the time to really labor for our church, getting down on our hands and knees where needed to really get the grit and the grime up and out of the church? Are we really pouring ourselves into the church and laboring to see the church flourish and grow? Because in doing so, what we might find is new insights about the church, new insights about what Christ is doing in the church, new insights about what Christ wants to do through his church. You see, this is not just about mopping the floors. This is not even about cleaning the church. This is about laboring for the sake of Christ and for the sake of building his church and his kingdom in this world. So go out there today, mop some floors, and labor in the name of Jesus Christ.